So, Masters, will continue our discussion on Tri-Dosha that we started last week. And today we will be talking about Pitta, one of the three. And then following weeks, we will take about Vata and Kapha as well. So when we talk about Tri-Doshas, these are the basic, concept of Ayurveda. It's amazing that, when we see how thousands of years ago, our Rishi Munis, masters, they knew about all these concepts. They knew how our body functions. And it's really, it's a pity. It's sorry. It's a, um, the more modern we get, we think we will get more detailed information, but it's the other way around. We have more detailed information from our shastras, our documents, our granths, and whichever way we refer to whether Ayurveda and others. Then now we are rediscovering what our great Rishi Munis already knew, and not just Indian, but if you go to any old civilization, be it Egyptian, Chinese, or what we say, the Aboriginal Indians, any civilization which goes thousands of years back, they had the wisdom. Why? They were looking inward. They knew how to look inward, what we call meditation. So three doshas are the basic concept. These are the energy forces. So it's not a random concept. It is not a theory. These are the three energy forces that controls all our functioning in the body. So we feel that, okay, you should eat properly, sleep properly, the lifestyle part and the thoughts and all those things. And when we do meditation and all, it impacts the body. And we wonder, oh, is it a magic? No, it's not magic. Everything relates to how the body function. The question is, do we really understand how the body function? Typically we say, do we have a user manual? No, we don't. Actually, these are the user manual or part of the user manuals. Why? Because this explains how things are really governed inside our body. What it means is that, yes, we have different enzymes, different, functioning of the glands and other things. Hormones are secreted to communicate with different parts of the body. And how the mechanism is working, this is a very big part. So there are three doshas, Vata, Pitta, Kapha. And now one may say that we have billions of people on this planet, only three factors. So does it mean everybody is same? No. You may have one or two primary, like one primary, second one maybe like main dominating one, subdominating one. And the percentage will vary person to person. Ideally, you can say 33, 33, 33, or 33.3 if you want to be exact. Each one of these three, then you are absolutely balanced, right? The three doshas are balanced, but that will not happen because of all those factors of lifestyles, thoughts, and whatnot. So the question is, how much is imbalance between any one of them or any two, or generally all three will not be dominating, then it's ideal, like 33.3, 33.3, and 33.3. So suppose one is 34. Another one is, say, 32. There is an imbalance. So it won't be like the one is 70 and other one is just 10. There won't be that kind of imbalance. Body cannot survive. We are talking about just a couple of percentage points of deviation from the mean, from the center, means just 33.3. So either a couple of points up, couple of points down. And it changes everything in the body. Why? Like if you see the pH of our blood, temperature in our body, we are not talking 10, 20% difference. In the nature, temperature can fluctuate within a day, especially North America. In a day, you can have variation between 15, 20% degrees range easily. Morning temperature may be 1, afternoon, night, and you will see 15, 20 degrees. But inside the body, it's not so. You cannot have such a high variation, body cannot survive. So doesn't matter outside or other temperature, the body maintains the inner temperature in a very tight range. Same is pH of our blood, very tight range. So this is where the three doshas are, coming into play. They are very tight range, and little imbalance can create big havoc in our body. So if your nature is aligned with the universal nature, means if your routine, your lifestyle is in sync, with synchronized with the circadian rhythm, then you can say that yes, I'm with nature or with universe. But in today's world, we deviate a lot. People sleep very late, get up late, or eating habits are so that when the time to eat, we are waking up, and when it is time to digest, we are eating. Time to rejuvenate or the body to heal, we are doing some active uh, you know part, like people go to gym in the night, because I'm coming from work at 6 7 in the evening PM, and then people go to gym at 8 PM, 9 PM. If you look at the circadian rhythm, that's not the time for active work. That is the time for body to rest and heal. But because of our lifestyle, we are doing it and we think we are doing great. Why? Going to gym is a sign of, okay, I'm health conscious, I'm doing the right thing. You are doing the right thing, but at the wrong time. And then we wonder why we keep going, visiting doctors and all. I'm going to gym, but yet I'm falling sick frequently. Or young people having heart attack and all kind of health issues these days. It's all combined. You cannot see one thing in isolation. That's why it is so important to understand these concepts. If we understand three doshas, if we understand how the body function, we can really simplify our life. We can certainly avoid a lot of visits to the doctor or to the hospital. Now, by any means, it doesn't mean that hospitals or doctors are no good. They are really needed when they are needed. The question or the point here is, can we avoid those visits? Rather than visiting every month, is it possible that I visit maybe once in 10 years, only when it's really something big? Yes. Answer is, if you are healthy, why should you go and visit? Just go for regular checkups. So you're visiting, but not because of a problem, but just because you want to be sure that everything is okay. So we can really cut down the stress. We can enjoy our life. So we are not going against the current. We are going along with the current. What current? The universe. So if you are aligned to the universe, your life will be much peaceful, enjoy, what we call blissful and all. Different people have done different research, and uh, many people explain things very simply, and one of them is Dr. Sumit Kesarkar, and there are many others who may have defined three doshas and other concept. So without getting into too much, complicated, understand it simply. So what it means is, so doshas, why we are calling them dosha. Dosha means it is changing, which changes, right? So it is not constant. It's not I'm born with this and I will stay with this. No, right? Like we were talking about pH of your blood, it will change depending on what you eat. If you eat alkaline diet versus acidic diet, pH will get impacted. So similarly, doshas. So it is referring to, the governing forces from the or in the cosmos, right, in the universe. So these are all governing forces. And so that's where, it is the thus in dosha, thus is coming from. And yes, it can be referred, dosha can be regarded as error or mistake. But error what? Error, we are talking about the balance with the universe, balance with the circadian rhythm, right? And they are in constant movement, like all three are moving. The idea is that they should be in balance. So a little bit up and down, something may happen, that's okay. It's part of nature. When there are high winds, there will be waves in the sea, in the ocean, right? But then they settle down, they again become calm. So it's not whatever is there today has to stay like this. So when these three we are talking, today we will have a deep discussion on Pitta, which is fire plus water. So these three doshas, now you see they are connected with Panchbhutas. Panchbhutas are what we had a discussion before, which is five basic elements out of which our bodies form, right? So whether it is Akash, Vayu, Prithvi, Agni, and water. So the five element, what we call ether, the air element, the fire element, the water element, earth element. It's a combination of one or two in each of these doshas. So now you see how Panchbhutas are connected to circadian rhythm. They are connected to Panchbhutas, right? They are connected to the way the body is formed, the way the body functions. So if you remember, people used to say, oh, in old times, you'll go to a Ved, the person will see just the nadis, and based on the nadi pariksha or nadi inspection, nadi analysis, they will tell you everything. Your health of the body, they can even go to your karma, they can even go to, if the person is knowledgeable, they can tell you a lot. So how come I'm just observing your nadi, right? And I can tell you all that? Because it's all about energies. It's all about information within that energy. So if you are really good in it's like sadhana. It's not random that you can do a 6 months, 1 year course and become a Ved. They used to devote whole life into this. In fact, most of the time it used to be generation by generation. It means the family, they would study, they would understand, and then they would be a Ved. So, the proportion of these different factors will decide which one is most dominant in you. So the fundamental system, right, which is you are born, you're a kid, you become youth, you're working, and then age comes, you may come to retirement age, normal functioning wise, and then old age. So what's happening these? So things are changing physically in your body. Things are changing within your body, right? These vital forces are changing as we change, right? It goes hand in hand. So this proportion, right, as you see here. So what happens here is, if we are talking about Pitta, so you can see that where it fits. So first you take any input, you're eating, right? Say food. So then there will be an input, an intake of food, and then you have to excrete also the food, which is the waste part of it. In between, something will happen, which is you have eaten, you have taken the input, but then that has to be transformed into some form in which the body can make use of it. So it's converting. Okay. So it is converting from that input to a usable unit. Like, for example, you have eaten an apple. Now, apple doesn't do anything directly. It has to be converted into energetic unit, right? And once those energetic units are formed, which means there is some chemical changes happening in the body, then the body says, yes, I can use this energy. It's like, we drill or, whether through ocean or other thing, we have petroleum. But then petroleum goes through refinery process and then you get petrol or gas, we call it. Now, if you put it in your car, vehicle, it will run. But you cannot use the petroleum, which is like a, gel, like a semi-solid, uh, directly in your car. It won't work. So it doesn't matter how healthy food is. Food directly cannot be used. Food has to be converted into something usable. And that's the transformation part. And that's where this pitta comes into play. So it is converting from that, whatever you are eating, to an useful energy units. And kapha is basically, okay, I have energy. It's like gas. I need to run my vehicle. So you are storing, there's a gas tank in every car. Why? Because you cannot keep going to the gas station every 5 minutes. So you store. Now I can go for 500 kilometers, 300, 600, depending on how big the tank is. It's a storage unit. So that's kapha. So that's what it is. You drill the petroleum, that's your input. You convert it, becomes pitta, and storage unit, gas tank, become kapha, as a simple example. So that's how we go from one to another. Now, when we are talking about the dosha, again, another thing we talked about Tri-Dhatu and Tri-Doshas. Why? Or gunas, if you recall, we talked about. So that's the root of fundamental of an entity. That is Tri-Dhatu. And balance is disturbed means it will like lead to destruction, right? And again, when we talk about uh, these things, which is right from eating to converting and then storing kind of thing. So because it is conversion, right? In the stomach, digestion starts. In the intestine, especially small intestine, that's where this you are converting and you are absorbing those units. Whatever you have digested, it has to be absorbed by the body, and that's happening in the intestine. So stomach starts, I mean, not the very start, because actually your digestion starts the moment you put your food in the mouth. Digestion process starts. Stomach is more chemical, like acids and other things, is breaking your food into different element. And then intestine is where the absorption takes place. So when we talk about Pitta Dosha, so all governing forces in the, cosmos, as we were talking about. So this is, the force that creates planets, cells, plants, all entity, right? So imagine how easily the body is breaking it down depending on what you had, whether it's protein, carbohydrate, fats, whatever it is, and it's breaking it down. Every input is different, chemically different. We don't tell the body now it is this or that. Body first checks what are you eating, and that signal goes from the tongue. Oh, fat's coming. Oh, carbohydrates coming. The stomach prepares that, okay, if this, I need more of this, I need less of this, or I need this vision. And then we convert. And then first you break it down and then take the energy out, take that raw into a usable form that the body can use. And, when you're talking about gunas, if you recall last week, this is connected to sattva. So different gunas will impact you differently. And that's where, it really comes into play. And so what are the basic or critical functions of Pitta? So when we're talking about Pitta, digestion, because obviously you have had the input, now you have to digest, then only the functioning really works. Metabolism of tissues, your vision, hunger, thirst, it goes about, your connects to your ignorance, aura, retention aspect of memory, courage, bravery, fear, anger, and maintaining the body temperature. So you can see when we are talking about the functioning part, right? There are a lot of things. So functioning doesn't mean that it is just simple, I had and I'm transforming, right? So when you have so much functioning, you can like understand the complexity. Okay. So why complexity? Because you see, it is not just the food, the chemical process, breaking it down and taking it to energy to form. Like we say psychosomatic, your emotion part, ignorance, all those things, bravery, fear, anger, it's very complicated. So when we work on one, we say, okay, if I'm balancing my pitta, how will I improve, say, my fear or anger? It has a direct connection. So not only the basic functioning, but also the emotion part, they are linked. And that's why different Tri-Doshas out of three will impact you differently. Now, why we are talking about Pitta first? I could have started with Vata, because actually the sequence, if you say the input, will start from Vata. But the most critical factor or emotion in our human form is fear, even in animal kingdom, right? So fear is the most critical one. There is a reason why fear is the most critical one. That will be a different topic. But out of all the emotions, fear is the most critical. Why? Most common, and there is a reason, the way things interact with each other, why we all have one way or the other some part of fear to work on in our life. And hence, Pitta is really critical that we pay attention to. If your Pitta is high, out of the two, imbalance is highest in Pitta, then you know where it's going to impact you. So it's not just a question of, okay, I mean, it could be any one of the three. If it is Pitta, then how does it matter? It does matter. So where is the location? Or, because everything has certain location. If there is a dosha, where is in the body that I have to be more concerned about? So it's the navel point, it is connected to the sweat, the blood, skin, and eyes. Skin is you can say, the largest organ, because all throughout the body you have a skin. Skin has a very deep function. It's not just a cover. It's not a fancy, just to give us looks and all. It has a great function. So that's why the skin, consider it as like the largest organ in our body, which has really deep impact on who we are, our, whether you call sadhana, whether you call your daily, activity, life, personality, anything you call it. And it is connected from inside. Like, for example, we say, how is your gut, your intestine? You don't know, you don't see it, but look at your skin. The condition of your skin will tell you the condition of your gut. That means if there is any issue going on in the gut, it will be reflected on your skin. In other words, people say that your skin is gut inverted. So it's like, if you just flip and see the gut lining inside, that's how your skin is. So these understanding is going away nowadays. Everybody just rush for allopathic medicine or some kind of treatment. And we say, oh, I'm having this skin issue. Here goes your antibiotic or different kind of allopathic thing. No, it's just telling you what's inside your gut. Detox it, clean it. And then we bombard with different medicines and all when we try to fix the issue and create another issue. But if we understand these dosha, if we understand it's a simple detox that we need, not bombardment of, different treatments. Yeah, if certainly there is a need, but again, as I said, need means what? Once in 10 years or once every week? That's the difference we are talking. We are not saying don't ever take it. But if you maintain your health, you will need it in rare situation, not like every week I'm having some or the other pills. Sweat is so important because this is one of the ways that toxin comes out of our body. But what do? We are sitting whole day in AC rooms, AC car, AC offices. If you are under air conditioning, no physical activity means no jogging, no brisk walking. And walking also brisk, because that is a very good form of exercise. Right? You're not going outside, oh, UV index is high, or it's too hot, or this or that, and when it is cold, it is too cold. If you do not sweat, right, and you're just sitting comfortable thinking that, oh, I can afford. It's not a question of afford or not afford. If you're not sweating, you are not detoxing your body. It's a natural mechanism. When you don't detox, you are impacting your doshas. Simple. And then same thing, we go and see different medicine person, practitioner, different pharma, medicine, pills, and all those things starts. And when you don't sweat, you don't detox, what happens? Where do those toxins go? A lot of it goes in your blood. When your blood is impure, now what will happen? It will impact all the organs. Your skin will reflect. You have some issues with the blood. Your digestion, your everything. So you see, these are all related and easy, really, if you understand the concept, to interpret what's happening in my body. So what are the symptoms that something may be going against me? Something is increasing, not good. Increasing means not where it should be. So symptoms when you're looking into, so yeah, you have too much consumption of raw sources. You may exhaust stored energy too quickly, and the end product may not be in accordance with the body. So what's happening here is symptoms that you are looking into is the urine will tell you first, right? The color changes. It becomes yellow, deep yellow. You know very well something is not right. If it is temporarily, just some time of a day, once a day, and the next day becomes okay, don't overreact. Don't worry about it. But when consistently you have, it does reflect that why it is yellow, deep yellow. Are you not drinking enough water, or whatever else it may be? If your eyes color or skin color, stool color, these are the visual indications we neglect because we don't even know how to interpret. We run to different kind of tests. Doctor writes a series of tests. It may be good, for the business of those labs, which we are going. They are not telling us to come. We are going because we don't know how to read our body, how to talk to our body. So it's not their fault. It's our fault that we don't even do basic thing, and for everything we run for a test. If you have increase in hunger, thirst, appetite, heat, we create the burning sensation throughout the body. This may be a symptom of increase of uh, this particular uh, Tri-Dosha, which is it's a and desire for cool environment and diet, all those things, because you have burning sensation inside. So that's why you're looking for a cool environment. So you feel that, okay, I'm exhausted all the time. I don't have energy in the body. So that's, you feel exhausted, no energy, and you're always concerned or worrying that what's happening, right? So that may be too much, or if it is decreasing, you may have some other symptoms. The transformation process would be disrupted, leading to unusable end product, leading to toxin, because toxins certainly means diseases. And as the body is digesting and all, but if it is not creating enough energy units, you are not using it, and you have unusable product. Like, for example, when you eat non-veg, food which is processed, all the time eating, frozen stuff, and then you are just warming it up and eating because it's very fast, quick, all those kind of things, fast food, we call it, taste very good. Those are the things which will disturb your entire natural process. So your metabolism will go down, and it will impact on your growth, physical and mental, body both. So you may see the decreased body temperature and gastric fire or appetite, right? Your mobility will decrease, your energy level has gone down. You will feel cold most of the time. Some people are cold always, doesn't matter what. And it's kind of a different pain, not like pain in the because of muscle, because you did something. And you don't want to eat, indigestion kind of feeling. These are the symptoms which indicate that it is decreased, means we need to improve. So you may have too much, you may have too less. So whether it's increase or decrease, if we really understand how to interpret, what is telling you, but do we really know what it means? Now, I must also say, don't jump into conclusion that, for example, I'm feeling cold today. I should not be jumping into conclusion. Oh, my pitta is low. No, see, let the body talk to you over a period consistently, and then you say, this is the tendency. Tendency is not a day or two, it's over a period. Whatever that period is, a week, a month, 2 months, year. So we don't jump into very first day and start reacting to it, but start understanding what your body is trying to, tell you. You should know what your body is telling you. There are subtypes. Now, if you don't want to go into too much of detail, there are subtype, whether it's sadhak, whether it's alochak, pachak, bhajak, or ranjak. So why it is just important to know. So they provide or promote heat at some level, because what happens is these are basically in Ayurveda what they call Agni. Agni is basically form of fire, means that's how we digest. Like we say, oh, uh, in common terms, sometimes people may say, ki, bhai, Agni nahi hai. Agni nahi mean doesn't mean that there is a fire, physical fire burning in your stomach. That means the pachak kshamta, means your digestive power, means the chemical, the acid, the other thing that your body needs to digest. That is what is weak in you, right? So this is where you need to understand without getting into too much, and then of course they are related, uh, you know the solution, because if it is increased or decreased accordingly, its solution will be different. And they provide or promote different, heat at different points, especially when you're talking about sadhak, from the root sad. that means to accomplish or to realize, right? The fire that determines what is truth or reality, sadhak, Pitta. So it's located in the heart of the brain, functions through the nervous system and senses like pranavayu. It's the inward movement. It gives fire and digestive capacity to the brain and senses. So you see the fire and digestive capacity. So what happens when it is not proper, when sadhak is not proper? We suffer from the lack of clarity, right? Confusion, delusion, those kind of things. We cannot differentiate between fantasy and reality. So you see, these we are talking about what? Psychosomatics. Your emotions. We are talking not just physical element, but those. So they are interrelated, and the body is talking to us. Only thing is, do we really understand, right? So it governs our mental energy, right? All these delusions and all those things means what? We talked about heart and the brain, right? So our intelligence, like student, they say, whatever I do, I'm not understanding, I'm not able to, remember in the exam, many such thing comes. So what happens is, on lower level, it includes the worldly goals, like, the materialistic world, we call it pleasure, wealth, prestige, those kind of things. On highest level, it includes the spiritual goal of liberation. So that comes as your first, which is sadhak. Now, if you go for alochak, so it's loch, right? That means eye. So this one means the fire that governs visual perception. So now it's not heart and brain like in the previous one we were talking. Now we are talking about the eye, right? The visual perception. So what happens is, in this is a deeper intelligence, the good digestive power that we are talking about. So clearness in the eye, it is a good reflection. Sometimes, skin tells us, sometimes your eye tells us, the color of eye. If a person doesn't sleep properly, sometimes you can say, hey, look tired either from the face or from the eyes. So our eyes are a good reflection also. The color of the eyes does tells us. And, it says that it's responsible for the reception and digestion of the light from the external world. Now you may say, how do you digest light, right? So everything is energy. Everything is, like vitamin D. Vitamin D comes from where? When you are exposed to sunlight. So don't think that everything has to be physical food as only, right? And because the way in the center of your eye, the pupil, it allows us to see. That's how we are inputting the whatever we see from the universe, from outside. So if alochak has some issue, then your eyesight, your vision will get impacted directly. Now the third one comes pachak. So when you're saying pachak, by now you must have guessed pach, which means digestion, right? Pachan Shakti, Pachan Kriya, we say Pachan means digestion. So this is the Pitta, which supports digestion, located in the small intestine. So it governs the power of digestion because stomach does all the breaking up, puts acids and other chemicals, digest to break it up because you had, a rasgulla, you had a pizza, you had a fruit or vegetable, doesn't matter what. It has to break it down into small, small pieces. And then intestine will say, okay, I will digest. So that's where, in a small intestine, and then you have different elements working on it, the bile juice, the salt, the acid. It maintains the body temperature, circulation, everything. So when this one is pachak is impaired, we directly, digestive system means we impact the digestion process. You will have an impact on your digestion process. So when it is very high, what you may have ulcer, because it is hyperacidic. When you have low, what will happen? Poor absorption, lack of body heat or digestive power. Your body cannot digest. So what will happen? Uh, the body will spend all the energy in that part of the food they cannot convert into good unit as a waste to throw away out of body. So rather than taking energy from the food, you're spending your energy to get rid of it from your food because you could not process it, you could not digest it. So this is what is responsible for tissues, destroying any pathogens that have entered the body with the food, because your digestive power is weak. And then what happens? You fall sick. So Pachak is not just, digesting. It has a lot of these impact. Then come Brajak. So what is Brajak? Again, Braj, that means shine. So fire that governs the shine or complexion located in the skin, because of course, shine is coming from your skin. Sometimes you meet people and you say, wow, you're glowing, right? We say, oh, your aura, right? Because you glow. Some people have glowing skin, some people have dull, cracking, all kind of, dryness. The color of skin may be pale, and we say, hey, what's wrong with you? So it governs the digestion of warmth, of heat. The sunlight is absorbed through the skin, like I talked about vitamin D just now. So where it is absorbed from, first sunlight has to fall on our skin. If you're walking in the sun with full sleeves and the body whole covered, no good. Sun cannot do anything. It is done through your skin. So it is involved in the process of circulation, right? And has an outward moving energy. So that's where the Braja comes into it. So what happens is, through this, the heat is diffused or dispersed. When increased, it causes sweating. So now the fifth one, which is Ranjak. This is originated, root Ranjan means color, form of fire that imparts color, right? Located where? Liver, spleen, stomach, and small intestine. And it gives color to blood, color to bile, color to stool. And that's why we say your color of stool can tell you a lot more than the blood test, stool test, all kind of lab reports will tell you. Every day you are getting it. We just don't know how to interpret it. So what is the function? The warmth, of course, blood, circulatory system, downward moving energy, and can promote or purge toxins. Toxins comes out of our body, from different routes. And so this one, if you are not proper, if you are not getting rid of your toxins every day, your secretion process is not good, then we suffer. So what can we do, right, in terms of our diet? Can we do something? Well, eat cool or warmer, food to avoid, and avoid those steaming hot dishes. Sometimes, some people, they say, oh, I want to eat when it is right out of the oven. After 2 minutes, it's too cold for me because you're eating too hot. So avoid it, right? Let it cool down a bit. If your pitta is high, if your pitta is out of balance, should favor bitter, sweet, and uh, according to your body's indication, you can pick which one, uh, which type of food is good for you. Avoid excess butter, saturated fats, if it is so. Now it has good digestion, but you should avoid temptation to overeat. Consume excess salt and spicy food, avoid. Because some people have, they eat too much salt. Um, Spicy food, what it does is it tastes good. However, it does create a lot of, our organs to overwork. It's loading it up. We say spice is good. I've heard spice do this. Yes, spices are good. They do a lot of good things in our body, but in the right proportion. Doesn't mean you should have too much sweet, too much salt, too much spice means chili. No, it's not good. Here and there, okay. But if you are having every day high chili content, high sugar, high salt, not good at all, right? You eat salads, avoid the sour cream, vinegar based, should be more of lime, it will help, right? And then again, if you are having milk, like I avoid cow milk, I take almond or plant-based, but that is one thing. Avoid the fermented food if you have this, alcohol, avoid caffeine, coffee, but have herbal tea, particularly mint kind of thing. And so avoiding flour. If you can go for millet, that's what I prefer. That's what I do. Ragi, my favorite. Avoid wheat, multigrain, all those not easy to digest. It has lectins, and I'm not talking about just lactose or in milk, or I'm not talking about just gluten in wheat. There are many other lectins all around in different foods that really harms us. So meat, certainly, if you can avoid just vegetarianism, not because of animal cruelty and all that, for your own life's sake, for your own, save your life. Don't worry about the animal. Of course, it is a big part of it. But generally people say, oh, you're just saying because animal cruelty. Okay, put it aside. At least you should be worried about your own life. This again, it's a topic in itself. Why nowadays non-veg is so much harmful. All the antibiotic that is given to them, all the pesticides, all kind of chemical that is given to them, it comes to you, right? And the more you can avoid the fried, the spicy, and the heavy food, the better it is for you. So these are some of the things, as a long story short, a summarized version that how you can find out. We will, in the not the very next, after these three, there will be a session. We will talk about how to know which pitta is dominant. Because the first question you will say, okay, how do I know whether it is vata, pitta, or kapha? Which one is more dominant? So we'll also talk about that. It's called Nadi Pariksha, so that you also know how to check, because only then you can act accordingly. So today we talked about what is kind of Pitta dosha, and if it is high or low, what makes it, what can I do with respect to my diet. So masters, if you have any question, we will take it from there.